This video is sponsored by Normandy 1998 and Ash. Urgency, running, light, pain, nothingness. These are the last sensations Ash can remember as he fights his way back to consciousness. His head feels heavy, groggy, like someone filled it with mareep wool, and as he looks around, he does not recognize his surroundings. He is lying on a dirt road near a stream, though this doesn't make any sense, as just a moment ago he was... Where was he again? Try though he might, Ash cannot remember beyond a feeling in his gut that this is wrong. There was something he had to do. It was really important. So why can't he remember what it was? Suddenly he feels himself being pulled from his reverie by the sound of a voice calling out to him, asking if he's okay. Though when he turns his head towards the noise, he is shocked to see the speaker is not a girl as he had thought, but a Psyduck. Letting out a shocked exclamation, Ash demands to know how the heck a Psyduck is talking, though this just earns him a smack on top of his head, as the yellow duck sarcastically calls this very funny, making a Psyduck a dumb joke, before sighing that idiots like him give her a headache. Feeling bad that he's upset this Pokemon, Ash apologizes, saying he wasn't making a joke, he's just never heard a Pokemon talk before. At least, he thinks he hasn't. It's a bit hazy at the moment. Recognizing the genuineness in his voice and expression, the Psyduck softens a little, saying he must have had a run-in with a wild Psychic type or something that messed with his head, since why else would he think Pokemon couldn't talk? After all, he's talking right now. Furrowing his brow in confusion, Ash asks what she means. Of course he can talk. He's a human. Though this just earns the long sigh, as the duck muses that it must have been a really powerful psychic type, since everyone knows that humans aren't real. Getting a little agitated now, Ash tells her to stop talking nonsense. How can she say humans don't exist when one's standing right in front of her? Though, with a sad shake of her feathery head, the Psyduck replies that he's not human. He's a regular Pikachu. See for himself. She then gestures towards the stream, and wanting to prove her wrong, Ash bounds to his feet and stumbles over to the water's edge. Staring down at his reflection, he is shocked to see a startled-looking Pikachu gawking up at him with its mouth agape. Then, as he lets out a yell and leaps backwards, the electric mouse does likewise, vanishing from view. In a slightly exasperated tone, the Psyduck then asks if he sees yet, with Ash saying nothing, as he struggles to wrap his head around what he just witnessed. None of this makes any sense, though as he tries to reach into his memories for some explanation of what's going on, he finds them blank, aside from a few key details, such as his name and that he's human. Seeing his bewilderment, Psyduck suggests that maybe he shouldn't be alone right now, offering to let him come with her, since she's just on her way to Konas town to collect some gummies which help with her headaches. Though Ash is pretty sure he's never heard of this town, he figures maybe someone might know what is going on, and so agrees, with the duck proceeding to lead him south down the path he awoke on. The walk is not a long one, though as they go, Ash learns a bit more about his companion, such as the fact that her name is Psydy, and she isn't from around here, while in turn explaining what little he can about himself. From the look in her eyes, Ash can tell that Psydy does not fully believe him, likely still thinking he got his brain scrambled by a wild Pokemon, though she's at least polite enough not to call him a liar this time. Finally, the duo make it to Konas town, with Ash being shocked to see that it is built for and run entirely by Pokemon. It is certainly unlike anywhere Ash has ever seen before, though there is a hominess to it that the boy finds inviting, following after Psydy as she leads him down the high street and up onto a hill where the apothecary shop is located. As it turns out, the proprietor of this stall is an elderly parasect who greets the newcomers affably, offering to show them his wares, and while Psydy goes off to get her gummies, Ash asks if he has anything to help with memory loss. Chuckling jovially, the mushroom bug replies that he's afraid that is beyond the scope of his healing ability, though he can offer him some herbs that he'll never forget the taste of since they're so bitter. Shaking his head, Ash declines, deciding to head back down to town in case someone else can help him, though before he gets very far, he hears a cry for help coming from the woods behind the apothecary. Acting before he's even had time to think, Ash begins dashing in the direction of the scream, dropping to all fours as he does, since it allows him to go faster than his two-legged toddling. Thanks to this, it only takes a few moments for him to burst through the tree line into a clearing where a pair of crazed-looking Rattata are bearing down on a scared-looking Caterpie. Desperately, the bug pleads for its assailants to leave it alone, though this falls on deaf ears, forcing Ash to step in, his anger at this unfair situation causing electricity to crackle from his cheeks. This at last gets the attention of the Rattata, who look a little frightened at the sight of their fellow rodent. Then, as Ash orders them to leave, his cheeks still sparking, the pair of rats turn tail, leaving the boy and the Caterpie alone in the clearing. In a concerned voice, Ash asks if the worm Pokemon is alright, to which it nods that it is, gushing with appreciation, and asking what rescue team Ash is from. Not knowing what this means, Ash replies that he's not from any team, a claim which shocks Caterpie, as it declares that it's never met a Pokemon who goes out of their way to help another without being paid for it. Laughing a little awkwardly as he still doesn't have a full grasp of the conversation, Ash replies that he's just that kind of guy, he supposes, earning him a look of deepest admiration from the young Caterpie. Following this, the pair then start heading back to town, meeting up with Psyduck halfway there, as she demands to know why Ash went running off like that. Like Caterpie, her response to his explanation is one of stunned bewilderment, though she does have something helpful to add, as she suggests this might be a sign that he was formerly a member of a rescue team, so we should head to Iwa City, since that's where the nearest guild hall is, so we can check if he's in their records. Having no better plan, Ash agrees, sprinting off before coming to an abrupt halt, as he sweat drops and admits that he has no idea where Iwa City is. Letting out a huff, Psyduck grumbles that his idiocy is making her headache worse, though she supposes she can't let him go off on his own while he still has no memory, so if he wants, she'll escort him as far as the city. This causes Ash to grin, while setting his lightning-shaped tail to wag, as he cheers that this is awesome, since traveling with friends is the best. In spite of herself, this exuberance makes Psyduck smile. Though refusing to be waylaid, she tells him to follow her, since it's a long walk, as they've got to pass by Burning Crater and get through Buggy Forest. In this at least, Psyduck is not lying, as even with Ash using his speedy electric-type body to run ahead, it takes them 2 more days to reach Burning Crater. Even from a distance, Ash can tell that it more than lives up to its name, being a deep valley that resembles the inside of a volcano, with rivers of lava covering most of the space, broken up only by small islands of dark rock that give off jets of sulfurous smoke. Curiously, Ash asks what happened here, as it's so different from the rest of this area, but with a somber look, Psyduck explains that no one knows for certain, as it's been this way as long as anyone can remember, though the story goes that once it was a settlement like Kianbas or Iwa, until one day the leader did something to anger the ruler of this land, and so as punishment, he destroyed the city, and left its ruins to burn forever as a warning to everyone else. Ash being, well, Ash, he declares that that's totally unfair, and that this so-called ruler sounds like a real piece of work. Though, this only earns him a glare from Psyduck, who hisses at him to be quiet. The ruler of this land is all-seeing and all-knowing, so if Ash speaks badly of him, he might wind up like the city from the story. Heatedly, Ash retorts that a real leader doesn't use fear to make people follow them, they use trust and friendship, something this jerk evidently doesn't know the first thing about. Refusing to have this debate, Psyduck sighs that if that's how he feels, he can take it up with the ruler in person if he becomes a member of a master-rank adventure team, since they're the only ones who ever get invited to his palace. Though this had been meant facetiously, Ash grins that that's a great idea, since something about the term master-rank sounds familiar, so maybe that has a connection to his lost memories. Not to mention, if this ruler guy is as all-knowing as she says, he should be able to clear up his amnesia. Groaning that this kid is dense with a capital D, Psyduck tells him to come on, since it's not like they'll get any answers hanging around here, and as a water type, she doesn't like how hot it's getting. Due to the vast nature of Burning Crater, circumnavigating it proves rather time-consuming, with the pair even having to make camp by lava light that evening, as they cannot pass it in one day. Thankfully, having done the Pyro's share of the walking already, it only takes a few hours the next morning to leave the desolate hellscape behind, with their eyes soon turning to the Buggy Forest. Cautiously, Psyduck warns Ash to be careful, since places like this are full of aggressive and wild Pokemon like the Rattata he encountered back near Kianbas. Though with a grin, the outgoing boy assures his companion it won't be an issue, since he'll run them off like he did the normal types. This statement is almost immediately put to the test, as feeling no need for subtlety, Ash runs ahead again, making a beeline for the other end of the forest, and in so doing, attracts the attention of a very different sort of bee, one whose twin needle arms leave 2 sharp stings on his brown striped back when they swoop down. Letting out a yelp of pain, Ash turns to see a trio of Beedrill, all of whom hiss and snarl at him, calling him an interloper, and demanding he leave this place at once. Angrily, Ash declares that he's trying to, but he has to get to the other side, a claim the Beedrill swarm refute, barking at him once more to leave the way he came, while thrusting out their bladed hands in a threatening gesture. Seeing he has no choice but to fight, Ash attempts to use a Thunderbolt, only to realize he has no idea how to use Pokemon moves. As a result, all he does is make himself a stationary target, with the trio of Beedrill capitalizing as they strike at him once more. Desperate to avoid this barrage, he next attempts to run, picking up speed in what might be the rudimentary form of a quick attack, though here the lack of Pokemon instincts comes to bite him once again, as being unfamiliar with such speeds, he quickly trips over his own feet and is sent sprawling across the forest floor. Seeing their chance to finish off this mouthy interloper, the Beedrill then begin closing in, though before they can land a finishing blow, a jet of water shoots out to strike one of them in the side. Spinning to face the source of this, the poison bugs witness as Psyduck approaches at a run, blasting them each with water gun, which makes their wings heavy and therefore less maneuverable. Recognizing how much trouble they'll be in if the duck manages to ground them, the Beedrill flee on instinct, leaving her to tend to Ash, though perhaps it would have been kinder if they'd stayed, as when the young electro type raises his eyes to look at his companion, she punches him on top of the head, while calling him an idiot for running ahead like that. Feeling more than a little bashful at this turn of events, Ash apologizes, promising to listen to her more closely next time, and while this does mollify the water type somewhat, she still scolds him some more for his recklessness, and urges him to work on his moves since she might not be around to save his butt next time. Thankfully, as this is only a small forest, many of the other wild Pokemon likely saw what happened to the Beedrill gang, with this dissuading them from attacking the two travelers. As a result, the rest of the trip to Iwa City is for the most part uneventful, with both Ash and Psyduck letting out a sigh of relief when the trees give way to civilization. Being the largest building in town, it does not take the duo long to track down the guild hall, with it being a large structure made primarily out of stone. While this is a fairly common decor for the city, Ash is taken aback by just how big the building really is, looking like it could fit several hundred Pokemon inside at once. And it's fortunate that this is true, as when the two companions step into the lobby, they are met with a crush of bodies, with Pokemon of all shapes and sizes rushing along the ground and through the air in an attempt to conduct their business with the guild. Spotting an information desk, Psyduck gestures for Ash to follow her there, and after a brief stint in line, the pair are able to speak with the Graveler on duty. Taking the lead as the one with greater understanding of the situation, Psyduck requests that the rock type check their database to see if they have any information on a Pikachu named Ash, though unfortunately, this comes up negative, with Graveler reporting they have no one by that name as a past or present member. He then asks if Ash would like to change that, a question the boy had not been expecting, but one he cannot help but find enticing, as not only will allow him to help Pokemon like Caterpie, but if he can rise to the master rank, then he can meet this mysterious ruler who might be able to help him get his memories back. Needing no more persuasion than this, Ash grins that yes, he'd like to join, with Graveler nodding approvingly, as he next asks what their rescue team's name will be, and who its second member is, as these are both requirements to be officially recognized. This once again brings Ash up short, as he hadn't known these rules, though as he looks to Psyduck, she exhales deeply through her bill, and sighs that she'll be his second member if he wants. After all, he doesn't seem like such a bad kid, and as they've seen, he'd be helpless without her, though she'd better be paid handsomely for all this help, as if she's going to be putting up with more of his boneheadedness, she'll need a steady supply of Parasec's headache gummies. Grandly growing, Ash declares that she can have all the money, since he doesn't really care about that sort of stuff, though now all they need is a name. For a moment, neither says anything, being too deep in thought as they try to come up with a name. Then at last, Psyduck pipes up, saying the rescue team's name should reflect their leader and its style, so if Ash doesn't mind, she thinks she knows just the name. Having no objection, Ash tells his friend to go ahead, and with a slight smile on her face, Psyduck states they will be known as Team Bolt. With registration now complete, Graveler congratulates Team Bolt on their formation, encouraging them to head further inside to receive their official rescue team gear, as well as a briefing on the rules they must follow as a normal ranked team. Noting their understanding, Ash and Psyduck do as they're told, leaving the crowded foyer through a side passage, and as they do, they cannot help but share a look, knowing this is the first step on a much grander adventure. And that's where we'll leave things. What trials lie in store for Team Bolt moving forward? Who will join them on their quest to help Pokemon in need? And can Ash ever regain his lost memories of how he wound up as a Pikachu? Find out as the journey continues.